morning, welcome to Sydney Grace Sunday. Today we're gonna be doing the whole face. I'm gonna be chit-chatting with you, giving you my thoughts, which can sometimes get dangerous, on different things. And I want you guys to sound off below and tell me how you feel about these Sydney Grace Sundays and doing this, you know, where I do my whole face and I'm just talking and we're spending time together on a Sunday morning, versus just doing the eye look. Because I mean, it is called Sydney Grace Sunday, so that would seem to me like what we should be doing is just the eye look. You know, do the eye look, forget about the rest of the makeup, forget about the stories and all that stuff, and just do the eyeshadow. So, you know, I thought about, well, maybe I could do this and then cut the eye look out of it, okay? So that you don't see me do my eyes, and just use the eye portion as the Sydney Grace Sunday. You know, if you're interested in what I did, then you can see the Sydney Grace Sunday video and you'll know what I did, right? That way, the people who are just like wanting to spend some time together, hear me tell a story or reminisce about something, they get what they want. And the people who want an eye look only, they get what they want. Some of you are going to say, do what you want. That never works out. Here's why it's important. If I'm not doing what the majority of you want, then you'll either skip around, watch part of, or none of the video. That affects the way YouTube sees how you're engaging with me. YouTube is even watching how fast you watch the channels you watch. When engagement goes down, YouTube says, this YouTuber isn't that relevant, and punishes an already suffering segment of smaller YouTubers by not showing the videos in feeds and suggested videos. Okay. So today I'm going to chit-chat, and we're going to do my makeup, all of it, and the eye look, and I'm just fly by the seat of our pants like we usually do. And then you guys can tell me below what you think about it. I know that you cannot please everyone. That's just not going to happen. I'm just setting this down right now because I don't want that primer to crease while I move on to other stuff. Okay? I'm not sure why I used that primer. It was sitting in front of me. I had this one laid out because look, this is it. That's all I got. And I don't know, maybe subconsciously I thought that wouldn't be enough. My new one isn't here yet, so, perfect opportunity to explain that, yes, a lot of you know from Instagram and stuff that we have lost our 30% discount. I didn't do anything wrong and neither did you. Sigma has decided that everybody, without exception, only gets 10%, okay? That way, it doesn't look like they love me more than everyone else. No. Sigma does have sales all the time, all the time. So, you know, when they have sales, you'll still be able to get like 30% off. But I do appreciate you still using my code whenever you go to buy. And if you ever find anyone's getting more than 10% off with their code, let me know, all right? Okay, just say it. We're going to get the palette ready here of what we're going to mix together. And that's going to be my YSL Radiance Awakening, and then I'm going to mix with it. This is almost, I mean, you'll probably hear it sputtering, trying to get some out of here. This is, okay, this is Lancome's Teint Idole, but they sent this to me a while back, and when it got here, it was broke. So I put it in an airless pump, and it's almost all gone. And I'm just going to take the end of a brush and mix these two together. And the reason I did that is because, well, they actually pair together beautifully. But the YSL is just a little bit too dark. And that particular shade of the Lancome is just a little bit too light. But mixed together, they're perfect. This is my favorite under eye concealer. It's going to be in the year-end favorites. It's going to beat out every concealer I told you was great for, which they still are. I just like this one the best. And I'm going to put a little drop of the Teint Idole, which is what I use on my face. If I need it. I may not need it. Do you guys know that if you like watch Amazon, wow. Did we need that much? Heck no, we didn't need that much. What is up? What's wrong with me? Use entirely too much makeup. Did you guys know that Amazon, like if say you're watching a movie when you are in bed and then you fall asleep, okay? Netflix will, maybe it'll move on without you for a few episodes of something, or, you know, a movie, it lets the movie play out. But like say you're watching something that has episodes, it may go like a couple and then it will say, are you still watching? Which I found annoying when I was binge watching things while I'm awake. But when I'm asleep, yeah, I like it when it stops, because then I have a prayer of figuring out where I left off when I wake up. But Amazon, it don't do that. Amazon just keeps on going all night long. So I'm watching First Wives Club, and then it will go on to another movie that it thinks I will like. And see, I know this because I'm waking up periodically through the night. I wake up. And I somehow can recall and remember movies that were playing throughout my sleep cycle, but I can forget what I'm telling you mid-sentence and not have a clue what it was. So I'll look over and I'll see like Baby Boom is on. That show, Shopaholic or something, it's a movie. I own that movie, so that's how I know that's what that is. And when I woke up, Guarding Tess was on. I laid there and finished watching Guarding Tess. But I'm like, wow, I wonder if I'm the only one who doesn't know that they do that. Sigma 40 HD into my Effacernes? Effacernes, is that how we say this? I'm just gonna come get a little bit of this to go underneath my eyes. Anyway, so I'm watching Guarding Tess, and I'm like, gosh, you know, there's so many movies from that time period that were so good that we could watch, you know, I haven't seen them in a long time, so we could just watch those again. We don't need to have new Hollywood blockbusters out, really, right? We can just watch. And, you know, frankly, I'm finding that the older I'm getting, maybe this is part of aging, but the older that I'm getting, I'm noticing that I don't know any of the actors anymore. Time's moving on without me. I don't know any of the actors anymore because I don't just, well, I do lately. Lately, I watch a lot of movies and spend a lot of time watching series and TV stuff, but I didn't used to. So I'm finding that I don't know these younger people. And it's not that I don't want to give them a chance or anything, but I'm still enjoying the people I did know. So I like to watch movies that are older. And, you know, some movies I haven't seen before that were older still. In this movie, it was jerking at my heartstrings because, for the most part, I think that Shirley's character, Tess, if you've never seen this movie, Tess is a former president. She's a former first lady. Okay, so she's a former president's wife, and he has died, and she is alone. And of course, because of who she is, she has Secret Service, and they have detail at her house. But Tess is a bit of stubborn old cuss, and she doesn't really have anything to do in her life. You know what I mean? Her kids don't have anything to do with her. Or her son, anyway. I don't remember in the movie if she has a daughter or not, but her son isn't having anything to do with her unless he wants something. Okay. I have found that I don't need to set under my eye with the Effacernes. I know, right? So that's good, but I didn't use that much of it. There's a lot of foundation underneath there, so I'm going to go ahead and take this Nars powder, and let's get some of that and just kind of set right here real quick. Anyway, so Tess is, I think, more than anything, she's lonely. I think she's lonely. She watches all the reruns of their heyday, her and her husband's heyday together. You know, I think she feels like she's lonely, she's lost and forgotten about, and for the most part, she just, I mean, she gives these Secret Service guys a run for their money, constantly not wanting them. I'm just going all over my face now, aren't I? This is what happens when you're talking and doing makeup. But I am going to take this powder, which you don't see me with very much, because look, can you see how much is left? This stuff is out because I'm going to talk about it in a video soon. But this was my holy grail powder, and there is not one There isn't one that's like this. They discontinued it, and I don't use it very often. But I'm just going to start out here with my sponge and start tapping it in. And I think it's just a glorious powder. I can't figure out why. Why, YSL, did you let go of this powder? You made me very unhappy. I'm going to spritz my face with this. By the way, this is the Lancome setting spray that I threw a fit over, okay? Some of you made comments about how it must be this sprayer. So I bought it. It's not here yet, but I love the way this stuff looks on the skin. It's the best. I love the way this stuff looks on the skin. I just don't like this sprayer. And, you know, if you're like me and you thought to yourself, a setting spray is a setting spray is a setting spray all day long. Anyway, so I used to know when I was like in my 20s, and I did the math, she would be like 116 today. I used to know this older woman, and I called her Grandmother Mom, and I loved her. She was all kinds of special. I never heard her, I only ever heard her once say a cuss word. And it was the bad one. She wasn't going for the little cuss words. If she's gonna cuss, by George, she's gonna do it good. Even when I was younger, I've always loved older people. I love to hear their stories. I've become a little obsessed with this blush. And look, I kind of ruined it a little bit. Don't do this, okay? I tend to take palettes like this and go between them. And I drug this blush over here, and it's like stained over there now. Do I really care, though? I don't know. It's not like I'm never going to give this to anybody. All right, I'm going to come into the highlight part and come right here on my cheek. And I like it. I like it. And then I'm going to take the blush and just sweep over my cheek. Anyway, Grandmother Mom was like in her 80s back then when I was in my 20s. I loved her, and my own grandmother too, of course. I loved her. The two of them had something in common, actually. My grandma was actually like 20 years younger than her, but she was, like, from her upbringing, I guess, lived through the Depression also, so they both had this fascination with aluminum foil. And what I mean by that is they would wash it. Like my grandma, she would wash the aluminum foil. And Grandmother Mom, when she sent you home with food and it had aluminum foil on it, or it was in a pie plate that was an aluminum foil throwaway pan, she would expect you to wash it and bring it back to her. At home, I really didn't understand that aluminum foil was the same stuff my mom had. My mom's aluminum foil was real shiny. Grandma's was all crinkled up and had no shine left to it because she'd washed it so many times. Anyway, so I would talk to Grandmother Mom on the phone every day. She'd call me on the phone, and you know, I had a little baby, so I wasn't working, and she would call me on the phone and tell me about her day. And obviously other people weren't listening to her. That's why she spent so much time with me, I think. Like Tess in the movie. I think she just wanted to still feel relevant, still feel like she mattered, like she wasn't invisible. Anyway, she lived across the street from a big fancy Catholic church. And she would call and tell me her porch was right across the street from it. She'd sit on her glider and watch the church people. Then she'd call and tell me what they did. Like one day, I remember this one real good. She was really excited that this happened because that was really juicy. This guy came out of the church and peed on it. Like he came out and like urinated on the wall of the church in the parking lot and then went back in. Right? What, was there no bathrooms? Maybe they were full and he really had to go. She was letting me know about all of the goings on in the neighborhood. And she'd say, "Oh, honey." That was her thing. Every time she would tell me something, she'd be like, "Oh, honey. Oh, honey." Everything she said to me was, "Oh, honey." And then she would tell me, oh God, I loved her. She would tell me all these stories, you know, like she told me about, you know, I was getting ready to tell you and interrupted myself about her favorite Christmas. And her favorite Christmas was the year she got an orange. An orange. That was so fascinating to me. And she'd say, oh, honey, you don't understand. They didn't have, oh my gosh, that almost sounded like her. She'd say, oh, honey, you don't understand. That was a big deal. You couldn't go to the supermarket and get an orange. They'd come all the way from California. She told me in her childhood, they put candles on the Christmas tree. Like you set them on fire, candles. Like there's a flame on the candle on the... I'm like, bet you guys didn't go to bed with the tree lit. Oh my gosh. I'd be in there like watching the tree like this the whole time. You blow out them candles. You remember the phone cords? Like, did you guys have a yellow kitchen phone that had a phone cord that went all the way to the neighbor's house? Like it almost did. It went out on the front porch for sure. Because you roamed all over the house. I would always like do the cleaning while I was on the phone. That way I could accomplish two things at once. You know, so the phone cord had to travel. And that phone cord was long. It was longer than anyone I ever had. And I could go from the kitchen. Now, I couldn't actually go out on the porch and sit on the glider or anything like that. It went a really long ways. I know you guys had one too. We had one when I was growing up. Oh, it was a yellow phone too. That phone cord would only go, you know, all around the kitchen. I don't know where that phone cord came from on that phone, but it was extra long. In any case, I don't know what that has to do with this story. I guess I just remembered the phone. Anyway, so I'm talking to her on the phone this day, like I always do. But most of the time, nobody called at that hour. Probably because, like, my mom knew that I was talking to Grandma the Mom, and so she wouldn't bug me. But something happened, I think it was my mom who called, and I had to go over to the other line, and this was call waiting. We're almost ready for the eyes, so I need to wrap this story up.
Slob, look at my shoulder.
Okay, so anyway, I tell her, I get a call from my mom, I think it was, and I said, hang on, sweetie, I gotta go to the other line, I'll be right back. When I came back, she goes, honey, where did you go? And I said, well, and I told her, you know, and my mom called, or whoever it was. My mom called, and I had to go to the other line, and, you know, I'm back now, but, you know, I'm sorry. And she goes, oh, honey, I don't know who sold you that bill of goods, but that is an absolute lie. There is no such thing. And I'm like, well, there is, because I use it all the time, and, you know, I mean, I pay for it every month. She's like, oh, honey, I know what I'm talking about here, because I used to work for the telephone company. And I was just chuckling, but trying not to let her hear me, you know, because I was thinking, when? In 1890? You know? We've come a long way, baby. So, if that doesn't tickle your funny bone, I sincerely don't know what would. I mean, oh, I just loved her. She was just such a joy. Do you guys remember when I was talking to you about when you get older, you know, wondering whether or not, you know, when you're older, about the walking farts, right? Well, she would have the walking farts. And I would always think, oh my gosh, when you get older, I guess you don't know you're farting when you walk. Oh, you do, but you can't do anything about it, so you just go with it. So here's the palette today that we're going to work with. These are the colors that I picked out. The first shade, as per usual, is going to be Drift with an E35, and I'm just, yep. Now, I know we already set this eye with the Nars powder, but I like the slight color of Drift up here, so I am going to go ahead and lay it down from the crease up once again. I don't really need to see what I'm doing for that, and I'm just going to go ahead and run it right there in the corner. Just laying some foundation with that. I'm sorry. I think Countess is actually just in the Autumn Rain bundle. So if you have that bundle, that's where you're going to find this. I don't think, and I might be wrong, that you can buy Countess by itself. I'm sorry, I should have looked at the names beforehand. This is Countess. I'll show that to you on my skin so you can see. It is a mauvey purple matte, and I'm going to take that in my crease with the E25. I'm going to pat down here And what I'm doing is the same thing you've seen me do many times, but for those who are new, if you look at my face, you'll notice that my eyes are different, and maybe yours are too. Lots of people's are. This side of my face is aging faster than the other side. So this lid is laying down like a hood over here, and that side isn't. So I have to compensate a little bit. And what I do to make that happen, by the way, I'm not a makeup artist, okay? This is just what I do. It's because of being an x-ray tech that I know the structure of the human bones in the body, and I know that even though the skin is laying down, the bones underneath are exactly the same. So I'm going to bring this shade with the shadow side up, and this brush is really nice because look, it's kind of pinched here. So while it is a blending brush, it's kind of flat, which allows me to get right in this socket, and that's where I'm going, right over the top of the skin. I'm just going and pushing up on this eye. I don't push up on the other eye. I don't need to. And what that does is help me to be able to get the other side more even so that I look a little more symmetrical. I'm not going to look all the way symmetrical because I'm not. On the other side, I'm just kind of coming in here and feeling for the orbit. But I don't need to press up to make sure that the shadow is getting on all the little folds of skin. Because over here, it's not laying down. Just working this in a circle. Back and forth in a circle. Back and forth in a circle. Until I've got it good and blended. Now you can check yourself along the way, if you like, by putting your mirror in front of you and tipping your head forward. And when you do that, you can see it crossed. So you can see that they are getting more even now. I'm going to come back to my E35, get a little more drift on it, and right up here I'm just going to kind of blend where it leaves off. I'm just blending it out, the harsh edges. This is the shade called Troops, and Troops is lavender kind of with a silver undertone. Can you see that? I normally like to use a brush first so that you can see how it would look before I punch it with my finger. So I've got it on this E55, and I'm just going to kind of press and drag a little on my lid. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. Shout out to MJ who told me to get this shade. MJ is in Canada and part of the Fritzy family. And I guess the getting to know you section is not going to be a section. People liked seeing Sherry's picture, but no one sent me any pictures or bios or anything like that to share. So I guess that's not going to be a hit. Oh my word, that's beautiful. That was something Grandma the Mom used to say all the time. Oh my word. The next shade is this one, and it comes from the Raspberry bundle. It's called Aim High. This is Aim High. It's a light pink frosty color. That's what you're looking for if you don't have the Raspberry bundle, because I'm pretty sure you can't buy Aim High just on its own. And then of course I'm going to bring it right here in the inner corner and brighten it up even more. It is intense. You know what would also be fun? Since Troops has this silver undertone, you could use a silver right here too, I bet, and that would look pretty. Okay, let's punch Troops. So here I got it on my finger, and I'm going to just, ooh! Oh, MJ, you were so right. This is such a beautiful color. Oh my gosh. Oh my word. Isn't that funny how I'm saying that now because I've been talking about her? The last shade we're going to use is this. It's a black. Okay. It's their matte black. It's called Tuxedo. And I'm going to take my E36 to do it. You knew I'd do that, didn't you? I know a lot of people are afraid of black. But, you know, just if you want, just kind of do that, okay, on your hand and build it up slower. So start out here. I'm just starting out here and I'm just going back and forth on the outside of my lid. I'm not going up in the crease, just right there. Just taking that little bit right there, darkening it up, giving it some dimension right next to Troops. Get some more, bang it off a little bit. Now I'm just working in bigger circles, and as I do that, it starts to come up higher. Okay, there we go. So you see how that gave it some dimension, and while most of it is now worked off of the brush, I'm going to go back and forth right here in the crease. Skating right over the top, because this brush is real feathery. So skating right over the top of those wrinkles that were laying down here, darkening them up, giving the illusion that skin does not sit on top of my eyelid. The whole point is to get you comfortable working with black, because black really is your friend. So you can see these aren't exactly even, so now I'm going to drop my head down, look into my mirror, and come across from the other eye to make sure that they're even with each other, or as even as I can get. Back in with the E35 to soften. I didn't put any extra shadow on it, it's just got residual. And now I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick that E36 back up, and right here on the outside I'm just taking what's left on the brush and pulling this black down, making it kind of smoky. Now I'm taking that E46 and I'm going to connect my tear duct to that black smokiness with Troops. Pick up Aim High and connect the tear duct and Troops. I bet I got fallout all over my face and don't know it. It did get sloppy over here, and I've got some fallout here. I'm gonna take this, and that would be why sometimes I really like using the shadows first. I was gonna say I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyeliner, my mascara, and fix that, but I think I probably should fix that on camera. Here's how I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna take the concealer brush that I had. I'm not gonna put any more concealer on it, just what's left over, and come up here and tap around until I can clean that up a little. I'm sure this is not new. You guys probably do this too. And I have an advantage here. I wear glasses, so this is going to be something that isn't as hard for me to hide. Now I'm tipping down into my foundation with the tip of my sponge on that glass. See, here's what I'm doing. I'm just doing this, getting as much excess as I can off here, because I don't want to have to redo everything, and I've got powder and stuff up here. But there you go. So now I'm going to take the Nars powder again with a really fluffy brush and tap that on there to set it. All right, I'm going to go do my eyeliner, my mascara, my hair, and then I'll be back. Which way do you like Sydney Grace Sunday? Do you like the story and the whole makeup look and then focusing on the eyes? Or do you just want the eye tutorial on Sydney Grace Sunday and the whole makeup and the story has something that you just don't desire to see? Let me know, that's important to me. And I want to let you know that you are the best part of the Fritzy family. If you're not having a blessed day, you can turn it right around by just going and being a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye. And I'm out.
I think that's gonna be the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Wasn't that smart of me to put that down there and waste it? Don't even know if I need it. Ugh, sorry, that was coffee creamer. And you get this because you went through it yourself when you were younger, right? You know what it reminds me of? Oh, the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, gosh, I don't remember the words to that. Yeah. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Let me do a montage of songs I don't know the lyrics to. Oh, I'm back. You never know I left because I edited it out. That was a stupid remark, Mary. If she's gonna cuss, by George, she's gonna do it good. Just you. I don't know why I'm not organized. I also don't know where my Wayne Goss blush is. Hang on, I'll be right back. They were together in the eyeshadow drawer. Because, you know, here's a Wayne, there's a Wayne, everywhere's a Wayne, Wayne. Old Mary couldn't find her blush. She looked in the wrong drawer. No, she didn't. It was in the wrong drawer. Here it is. And what I mean by... Okay, I was gonna drink. I was looking for my drink. Let's drink some Windex vinegar. That doesn't even feel like a glass. Breathe. I don't want to breathe. Well, I have to breathe. But you know, Apple, you're not the boss of me. Stop telling me when to breathe. I got older. You remember I told you about the walking farts. Do you guys have the walking farts yet? Or you're like trying to get away from everybody, hide in the clothes area or something where nobody's at, because you know what's coming. Your stomach's been gurgling, so you know. Any second now, you're going to take a step and... Oh my gosh, I'm seeing stars. I'm seeing like rice-shaped pellets of light are dancing around my head. That was some really good adjectives. It's just a surprise. It's just a surprise when we get into editing. You know, surprise, surprise, surprise. Sargie Carter. Maybe if I talk nicer, you'll focus. Maybe if I say, focus, please focus. Can you please focus on me? What are you looking at? All right, dang it, I'm tired of this. Focus on me. And then we'll take it higher. You really got to cut out the Billy Ocean Electric Avenue stuff, Mary. We're gonna work up to our Crease Avenue. And we always take it higher.